Religion. It's the same thing about all that stuff for Christmas is spiritual. The Christmas tree, all that shit is spiritual. I'll tell you what, there's a Christmas spirit you get to this day, even if you're conscious.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You get it. And the next day that thing leaves right after Christmas.
Along with your money.
Now what happened was this. Was this. Well, they made it commercial, but the motifs started before the commercialism. What happened was when they went up into Europe, because a lot of this ritual stuff was put down with the Druids and all these black people that lived in Europe. You see what I'm saying? When we reported that the first Europeans were black, and all these traditions was handed down for years. So when the church came in, they said, okay, this is what we'll do. We're not getting rid of none of our traditions. But what we'll do here is we'll incorporate Christianity in it. And so the church said, we'll allow you to keep your traditions if you put a Christian myth around it. The problem here is we now are throwing away those traditions, but mistaking it for Christianity. Two different things. The traditions go back thousands of years before Christianity. Now, I was in Baltimore, Maryland in 2005. We did the lecture, went to this brother house named Ray, did the sit down, where we did a sit down thing on camera. A sit down thing on camera. So we went to his house the next night. So he immediately started trying to explain away why he got a Christmas tree. He said, well, my wife, his wife wasn't conscious. She wanted a Christmas tree. Spirit said, no, you got to fix this shit right now. And God's hand came. You see, which is actually best in Egypt. He's the leprechaun in Ireland. He said, you got to fix this. He said, that was my holiday. And the lights and stuff, that was the fairies' holiday. So you got to realize the fairies. Remember, Rosalind Jeffers went to Africa. Went to Africa. She's been going since 1963. She went to Africa. She started getting into my metaphysical stuff, and in '94 she went back to Africa to tell her about the metaphysics stuff. In Africa, in Ghana, they looked at her and said, "Look," and they pointed at little people in the trees. She said, "I've been coming over here for about 40 years, and you never told me." They say you never asked.
Hey Bobby, let me get you to pause.
I have what is called a picture packet that you order by phone, which has 54 pictures in it.
By phone?
Yeah, yeah, we give you that.
Oh, okay.
We give you that. Yeah, okay. For the people that want to order my information, you can call 678-358-1055. 678-358-1055. So that's the stimulus package. The stimulus package that you're going to buy today, if it start working for you, you might want to get your family members some. So you can call 678-358-1055, and we got the picture packet that we are dealing with now. And it's 64 pictures of East Indian gods, Asian gods, African gods, Egyptian temples. There's more Egyptian stuff than anything. And it's got all the stuff, but it's got rare photographs that I've collected over the course of the last 19, 20 years. Yeah, and it's the picture packet is unbelievable and all. So it is worth having. That means when you start having these experiences, you will have a reference of those pictures. Yeah. Okay, and we also have the last night lecture. We also have the last night lecture. So now, they were showing. I'm still into this thing about the fairies.
Oh.
Okay. She showed the fairies in the Ghanaians showed her the fairies in the trees. So the fairies in the trees. Now, Then there's a sister named Aviv. Well, there was two incidents happened recently. That was in the 90s. A sister that had a blog talk radio. She had one of the earliest blog talk radio shows in the 2000s. She went over to Africa and she saw the fairies. And they call it Kawi. Fairies are the ancestors. They call it Kawi. And so she saw them, and they got a book out on them. Then one of the sisters moved to Ghana back in 08, I think 07 or 08, and she was in her room or someplace, and the fairies told her to go back home, go back to Atlanta, go back to America. So now, I'm in the guy's house with the Christmas tree, and they said, oh, that's the fairy stuff. You see them lights and stuff, that's the fairies. Those are the answers. Those are the spirits. But see, now we're throwing all that out because of the Afrocentric stuff and all, because we now, we don't want to be associated with anything Christian, but we don't understand that Christianity came after those traditions was already there, and they're very spiritual. Right. And it's basically the winter solstice.
Right.
And so all that stuff is in the opening. And one of the days for the winter solstice is they got a list of gods that be on those days. And one of the gods and goddesses on that day is called the Frey, or the Fae. The Fae are the fairies. So it's proof that that was original fairy day and stuff, and all that type of thing. So that, yeah, what's that?
When you say Fae, you saying F-E-Y?
I think it's F.
F-A-I-R-Y.
I got it.
F-E-E. It's a French word. F-E-E.
F-E-E?
Yeah.
Well, they got different pronunciations for it. The Fae, the fairy. There's one that's F-E-Y too.
Okay.
And
yeah, that I know they got a they were talking about in Ireland. They have them on video.
Yeah.
In the gardens and in some of the older forests where they haven't had like
What we did, we built a fairy kingdom in the front part of our house when you first walk in the door. And we got everything in the house. All the Egyptian, all the Yoruba, all the Apollo, anything you want to name, Asian stuff. But we built a fairy kingdom right in the front part of the house. And as a result, they appeared. And at first I didn't recognize them because I'm from South Carolina. And if you ever go to South Carolina, and people from New York, they used to come to South Carolina, and this is what they did all summer. Because of the gnats. So they be talking to you, but they're not used to the gnats. And they do this. And so, so for some psychological reason, what I thought I was seeing was gnats. It took me a couple of days until Linda said, look at the fairies. And I said, yeah, look. I was thinking it was gnats because I grew up with gnats down south, but there are no gnats in Georgia because Georgia is landlocked. So the fairies was there. Then it snowed the other day, and it snowed on Christmas.
Right.
And we saw little fairy prints in the snow. Because we know what the cats do. We know they pass. It's not the cats. It was that, and Linda said, come and look at, see, it was too many of them. She said, look at them fairy prints. So there is a whole mystical dimension. You see what I'm saying? And they will let you see when they're ready to let you see.
Exactly.
But you got to get rid of a lot of reason. You got to become a child. Because children see all this all the time until they get to a certain age of reason. And then they disappear. You see, that's that whole movie. What's the name of that?
And Labyrinth?
No, the other one.
Peter Pan.
No, there's another one came out was off the chain.
Photographing fairies?
Huh?
Was it
No, not
photographing fairies?
Photographing fairies.
Bridge the Terabithia?
No, it's one more. It's close.
One?
No, it's one closer. This one here is the real deal.
Not Pan's Labyrinth?
No, it's not Pan's Labyrinth. No, this one here goes even further. No, not Chronicles of Narnia. The hedge something. Let me see. The hedge. Something script.
Oh, I know about the owls and everything like that.
No. This came out about a year before that.
Oh, okay.
The
That came out this year.
It'll come to me in a minute what it is. It's some kind of script, so-and-so manual, hedge something manual. It's about the Pharaoh.